My boss invited me to lunch only to fire me and replace me with the owner's nephew. But they didn't realize I'd seen this coming for months. I was 41 when this all went down. For over a decade, I'd been the backbone of North Point Manufacturing's IT division in Chicago. When I started, their network security was sticky notes with passwords and a server that crashed twice a week. I rebuilt everything from the ground up. 3 factories ran 24/7 on systems I designed. The CEO, Mark Preston, used to say, "You're the reason we sleep at night." But people like him forget fast. Last February, Mark invited me to lunch at a place called Sterling's, the kind of restaurant where a glass of wine costs more than my daily commute. I thought maybe I was finally getting the promotion I'd been promised. Instead, he cut into a $50 steak and said the words that hit like a freight train. "Jason, we're moving in a new direction. You'll be replaced by the owner's nephew, Dylan. Fresh perspective." Translation: you're out and nepotism wins again. I didn't argue. I smiled, signed the NDA. He slid across the table and sipped my water. Because what he didn't know was that I had seen this coming months ago. 3 months earlier, I'd noticed strange pings in the server logs, access attempts from an IP address upstairs on the executive floor. Someone had been quietly combing through my documentation. Then my access to board minutes vanished. Then Mark started canceling our one-on-one briefings. By the time Dylan showed up, 28 years old, Rolex flashing, bragging about his digital transformation degree, I already knew the setup. He had been given top-level admin credentials before I was even told about the transition. But here's what Mark and Dylan didn't understand. The lifeblood of North Point wasn't in the documentation. It was in the custom systems I'd built. The patches, the monitoring tools, the supplier integrations that no one else fully understood. Systems I had started developing years before I joined the company. The official announcement came at the quarterly all hands. Mark praised me as instrumental in building our infrastructure before announcing Dylan as my replacement. My team, people who had been in the trenches with me, looked shocked. I caught Vanessa's eyes across the room, gave her the smallest nod. She knew. That night, I pulled out an old hard drive from my closet. On it, the original code for my proprietary interface, created months before I joined North Point. Alongside it, an email from Mark himself, acknowledging in writing that the company was only licensing my tool, not buying it. I spent the next week meeting with lawyers and patent specialists. I quietly filed provisional patents, and with the help of my old teammate Luis, I made sure every update to my system carried a digital signature tied back to me. On my final day, I turned in my badge, shook Dylan's hand, and walked out calmly. He looked smug. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. The following Monday, 9:17 a.m., the exact minute production hit peak load. Every server across all 3 plants froze. The screens displayed the same line, double asterisk, license expired. Please contact the developer to renew. By 9:30, Mark's name lit up my phone. His voice was panicked. "What did you do?" I answered evenly. "Nothing. The license for my proprietary system expired. Check the original contract." Silence. Then, "What are your terms?" By 5 p.m., North Point's lawyers had signed a new agreement recognizing my ownership and paying me 6 figures upfront for continued use. 2 weeks later, I was sitting across from executives at TechCore Industries, the same conglomerate preparing to acquire North Point. They offered me double my old salary as a consultant to lead the integration. Dylan? He was transitioned to new opportunities after repeated failures. Mark kept his title but no power. I kept my system, my reputation, and a brand new consulting business. And the best part? Half of my old team joined me within the year.